Good evening, everyone, and thank you very much for joining us again for another one of our live events. Apologies for the slightly later start. We were having a few technical hitches trying to get our guest speaker in, who excitingly is a degree apprentice and who is studying at Exeter University. So that's to come a little bit later. So we hope this will be really, really useful for you, particularly if you're a parent or carer of someone that's supporting a student that's interested in the apprenticeship route. So the apprenticeship route is a very exciting one, but it's also a very competitive one, which is why we've developed at City Islington a really good support programme in terms of helping students prepare for what is a very, very competitive application process. And to have Jamil on the call a little bit later on will give you a bit of an insight into that application process and how much it will demonstrate how much determination and work you have to put in to get one of these really, really good apprenticeship schemes. So it's slightly strange times, obviously, with everything that's happening, and it doesn't make life that easy, really, if you are looking for an apprenticeship route, because some employers are obviously slowing down their recruitment. But the good news is there are apprenticeships out there, and there are applications that are opening up for the right student. But for that reason, also, we do encourage all students to have a backup plan, which my colleague Janet will also go through in her presentation to you. So the way this evening is going to work is that after my little bit here, I'm going to pass over to my colleague Janet, who's got a PowerPoint presentation for you, providing an overview of the apprenticeship route and the typical application process and how you can support your student. And then we've got a Q&A with, I say, one of our ex-students, Jamil. Unfortunately, you're not going to be able to see his face, but we have got him in on his phone. So hopefully this will still be really useful for you. I'm sure it will. There is a Q&A function, which is the little box with the question mark in. So do feel free to write any questions that you might like to ask. This event is recorded. So if for any reason you need to leave or you miss a little bit, it is going to be on our YouTube channel. So our YouTube channel is a really exciting development for us because it means that basically all the talks that we do, and we have a lot of them, will be available to those that subscribe to our YouTube channel. So I've put the links in the Q&A, so do subscribe to that. Janet, I'm sure, will mention at some point our fortnightly newsletter called Get Ahead News, which we put a lot of effort into making sure that the content is it sort of illustrates all the kind of, shows all the vacancies that are coming up in terms of apprenticeships, all the different opportunities that we have. So a lot of parents and carers ask, so can we get a copy of Get Ahead News? Now, the way to do that is to, if you're on Twitter, do follow us on Twitter, because I am starting to kind of link that on our Twitter page. And again, I'll put the link in the Q&A. And also you can contact us at any time at CANDI Careers. So I'll put the email address down as well. So this the event is due to finish at 7. So I'm going to pass over now to my colleague Janet, who's going to share her screen, hopefully, and take you through some really useful slides about applying for apprenticeships.
Okay, can everyone see that?
Not quite. Yes, they can now, yep. Janet.
Okay. I'd just like to give everybody a warm welcome. Good evening on this horrible day, horrible evening, but we're going to really make the most of it this evening. So my name's Janet Willoughby, as mentioned previously, and so I'm going to literally navigate you through the apprenticeship process. Okay, so like I've said, warm welcome to everybody that's listening and watching. Okay, so just a quick snapshot of the careers team. So there's myself, Janet Willoughby, one of the careers advisors. There's Ben or Stacey, another careers advisor. There's Jan, our careers administrator, and Joe Bishop, who heads up the service. Okay, so the aims of this evening really will be to explore a range of apprenticeship pathways and to really let's just have a look at the nuts and bolts of the researching into online opportunities. And we are really fortunate tonight to have one of our CANDI alumni here this evening. Okay, so very, very quickly, this is the pathway. So there are various apprenticeship pathways and learning levels from all the way from level 2 up till level 7, which is the degree apprenticeship. Okay, so again, I always like to show this slide. Really, this is a message from UCAS that every year 80,000 prospective students tell us that they're considering degree apprenticeship. So it's definitely on the increase. Students are more and more geared up for it and really are understanding that this is a really good, viable option for them. Okay, so higher and degree apprenticeships, they're pretty much real jobs in a skilled occupation. You're employed by an employer, you're hired, it's a real job. You receive a salary, you don't have to pay any tuition fees, which is also always a benefit for a lot of the students in terms of why they're attracted to it. It can last anything between 18 months to 4 years, and there is substantial training, which is why you really have to be really disciplined and really focused on balancing between the training and the actual world work, and you work towards a recognised apprenticeship standard, and you develop those all important transferable skills that every young person wants ultimately. Okay, so we're quickly going to look at some of the myths that people always have about apprenticeships, that the salary is not great. It's people that don't actually do great at school, and they miss out on the social aspect that university can actually afford them, and it's only for those just fresh from school. Okay, so let's just kind of go through some of those and look at the facts. So obviously, in terms of employers, they really are keen to create a real cohesive workforce. So they are incentivizing the young people that are actually taking up apprenticeships by offering social activities and incentives like season ticket loans and memberships and things like that, really, and discounts off of things as well. And obviously regarding those that don't do well at school, well, again, that is a myth, because the degree apprenticeships generally want 3 really good A-level grades between A to C, or a BTEC level 3 at distinction level, as well as those all-important maths and English grade 4s at least. In terms of it being only for school leavers, well, again, although it's aimed at the 17 to 18 plus age group, apprenticeships are recognised, and it's for all ages. Okay, in terms of it being something that you'll never earn much from, well, obviously those between the 16 to 19 bracket could earn the minimum wage bracket from anything from £4.15 an hour, but salaries can go up to £24,000 and beyond that. Okay, so again, you know, we're in COVID, in terms of all the kind of economic pressure that in terms of how it's impacted on employment market, Chancellor Rishi Sunak has pledged to really inject some cash funding into apprenticeship support. So that's just something we need to be aware of, that, you know, they really are aware that, you know, they really need to upskill the workforce and really invest in apprenticeships, because they definitely are the future. Okay, so there's a variety of different apprenticeships, anything from construction to business to law to creatives and all the way up to engineering as well. So there's a huge variety. Okay, so as promised, I'm just going to kind of give you a little idea as to what sorts of apprenticeships are available at present. So IBM is a leading tech company. What they are doing right now, a lot of these companies, the windows are now opening. So through the window, you will see that they're now inviting students to express their interest. So it's really, really important to do that, because you'll be the first ahead of the queue to understand and know when the application window will actually open. So by registering your interest, you actually gain access to their mailing list. So I really do urge you to start registering your interest with these companies, because they're all saying that, you know, we are ready and willing, and we'll let you know as soon as it's open. So I also wanted to alert you to this section, really. So they're pretty much saying that you can work and achieve towards a bachelor's honours degree at the same time with IBM, and apprentices on the Digital and Technology Solutions degree apprenticeship currently study with the University of Exeter and Manchester Metropolitan University. So they're the universities that they are linked to alongside your learning and training programme. So again, as it says, click on the button to register your interest. Okay, here's another example of another provider that tends to offer degree apprenticeships. Take a look out for Santander, because they do have a roll-on, roll-off programme. So it might be worth having a look to see when their window opens. But I wanted to alert you to this section just to give you an idea of how employers are using their narrative. So, for example, they're asking for the GCSEs, but they're also using the same language as UCAS. So they're asking for a minimum of 104 UCAS points, which is the equivalent to BCC. So they're using the same language because they realise they have to run in tandem with universities. So what we're saying is the same way that universities are waiting for the year 13s to actually receive their results, it's the same way that employers are waiting also. And the application window again is running alongside the UCAS process as well. So as I said, the windows are emerging at the same time, which is why we always encourage students to apply for university and apprenticeships as well. Okay, another huge one, Ernst & Young. Again, as you can see, they're really inviting you to register, to express an interest in their opportunities. Again, it's worth signing up for them. Again, they're pretty much saying that their degree apprenticeship program is open. So they've got 2 pathways at the moment. So they've got degree apprenticeships in digital and technology and leadership and management practice. Okay, so entry requirements. So they're saying that we operate an open access policy, meaning we don't screen out applications on your academic performance alone. So what they're saying really there is that we're not just looking at your qualifications, okay? So it's all about your aptitude and everything else that you bring to the table. However, you will need that minimum grade 4 GCSE English language and maths and completed at least 3 A levels. Okay, they've got really useful website here, which really gives you all the top tips on how to apply and all their processes in really good, clear language. Also wanted to note the part about applications can close as soon as numbers are filled. So what that can mean in principle is that as soon as they have reached their quota, they don't necessarily need any more. So rule of thumb with apprenticeships, if you see an opportunity, you must go for it and not overthink it, not leave it till next week or next month. Try it and apply for it as soon as possible, because as soon as they reach their quota, the advertisement may well still be up, but it doesn't necessarily mean they need any more applicants. So rule of thumb, like I said, first come, first served, apply as soon as you can. Okay, White Hat is another digital apprenticeship kind of tech provider, and they are also worth keeping an eye out for as well. And they have apprenticeships like with Google, for example. So they're another really good one to watch as well. And they also have marketing opportunities as well. Okay, Pearson's is another provider that is worth signing up with as well. So at the moment, they are offering a business apprenticeship with Tesco's. That's the latest one they've got hot off the press that I saw today. But again, they've had previous apprenticeship opportunities with like companies like L'Oreal, and that they're merchandising kind of apprenticeship offer. And they've also had like hotel groups in the past. So Pearson's College London is another really good reputable company to sign up for, so that you'd be the first in the queue to find out what they've got. Okay, so it's really important that we shine a torch on the skills that we actually have to offer in terms of the open market when we're applying for degree apprenticeships. So it's really important that we are job ready, because after all, practice does indeed make perfect, and we can learn because it's all learned behaviour, the whole navigational process of applying for jobs. Okay, so these are the key things that employers actually look for. So it's resilience, it's that strength of character, somebody that can deal with situations, albeit pressurized. Leadership skills are really crucial. Commercial awareness, somebody that has an overview and understanding of the sector and the business needs. Real good sense of self-awareness and emotional intelligence, which is really important, so that you're able to kind of read situations and know when to say something or when not to say something, and to behave in a professional manner at all times. Business appropriate communication, and really be digitally media savvy, really have that computer literacy, really important. Time management, that goes without saying, and really good presentation skills. So this was taken from the Institute of Student Employers survey in 2019. Okay, so again, I wanted to kind of highlight some of the processes that employers use regarding apprenticeships. And as you can see, assessment centres are pretty much neck and neck with the way that they actually recruit for graduates. So it's pretty high at 88%. Face-to-face interviews, really good old-fashioned process, is still really prevalent, 71%, still looking at that. Phone interviews, again, I think in light of COVID-19, I think that figure may actually increase from 36% now. And various psychometric testing for your aptitude in terms of your literacy, verbal reasoning and numeracy skills as well. Okay, so some of the activities that they're using, again, high up on the list is individual interviews at 79%. And sometimes they have like group activities and games and things like that and presentations. Again, this is all learned behavior. These are skills that our students can learn and they can acquire. So it's not impossible for them to go through these processes, as Jamil will testify to shortly. Okay, so here we have a grid here which shows the proportion of face-to-face and remote recruitment activity plan for the autumn. So as you can see in blue, work experience is quite huge at the bottom. So that's really, really good sign moving forward that employers really still value the work experience element in terms of recruitment and kind of offering that opportunity for students to actually learn and get that experience hands-on. Again, in terms of promoting opportunities through careers fairs and interviews and assessment centres. So that's the kind of recruitment activity that is still planned. So it's great to see that work experience is still on there and it's high on the agenda. Okay, so let's just kind of take a sneak peek on how we actually navigate our way and look for these opportunities. So as Joanne said earlier, these slides will be actually posted on our YouTube channel, so please don't worry about trying to scribble down these links. But as you can see, there are a variety of different apprenticeship providers and websites that are all really useful. And as you can see, there's Get Ahead News, which is our sixth form newsletter, which is circulated to the students on a regular basis. As you can see it below, there's our careers YouTube channel link as well. Okay, so I'm just going to play you very quickly Lloyds Banking Group's apprenticeship offer so you can get a snippet of what they have to say.
Hello everyone, my name is Mo. I'm an apprenticeship rep within Lloyds Banking Group. Just to talk to you briefly about Lloyds Banking Group. It is the largest UK digital bank. It has over 30 million customers, over 65,000 colleagues. Now, a number of you might be thinking, banks are just about numbers and money. Partly. Who deals with the online banking? What about the advert with the black horse on TV? Cybersecurity, who manages that? Don't forget our customers. There are a lot of opportunities and things to do within Lloyds, no matter your area of interest. Three main pathways you need to be thinking about. If you love people, building relationships and dealing with customers, financial services is the first route. If you're analytical and love technology, the digital and technology pathway is the one for you. And last but not least, if you're a creative thinker, you love tackling complex problems and developing new ideas, our professional services route is for you. As the largest UK digital bank, no matter your interest, we believe that there's always a place you can contribute with. Finally, if you want to be part of something just bigger than a job, Lloyds Banking Group's purpose is helping Britain prosper. What does that mean? That means we're trying to prosper and help the economy and the communities prosper along that. That is the culture we are building. Now I'd like to hand over to one of our apprentices, Francisco.
Hey everyone, I'm Francisco, and I'm a former student at City and Islington Sixth Form College. I'm here to quickly talk to you about my apprenticeship at Lloyds Banking Group. Now, as you've heard from all, Lloyds Banking Group offers a wide variety of different, exciting apprenticeship opportunities, and one of them is group internal audit. As an apprentice, I've been able to get the support I need in order to develop myself in many different ways. I'm able to receive personalised development objectives and support, helping me progress in my career. LBG gives you all the fundamental tools, allowing you to fulfil your potential. Working at LBG is great. You are constantly supported, you meet different people, it's a very diverse workforce, and it's the perfect opportunity for you to start your career. So, what are you waiting for? If you're a practical and willing learner, come check our website and see if an apprenticeship suits you.
Thank you, Francisco and Mo. Okay.
Hello everyone.
So another thing I wanted to alert you to is the University and Apprenticeship Virtual Fair, which takes place on the 4th of November between 12 and 6 p.m. And as you can see, they have a variety of different webinars. There's timetables for that when you go on the website, and that's hosted by the University and Apprenticeship Search. So if you key that into the website, you'll see details for their virtual fair. So hopefully that should be really, really useful in kind of shining a light on more opportunities regarding apprenticeships. Okay, here's a quick snapshot of the employers that we've worked with. As you can see, there's a huge range, a good variety of prestigious and reputable employers there. Okay. So just wanted to kind of give you some quick top tips, really. So I think the key messages from us as a career service is it's really important that students check their emails and really take a good look at Get Ahead News and respond to opportunities, because there are so many and there's so much effort put into actually compiling Get Ahead News that it would just be a shame for the students to be missing out. Okay. We have a bookable online service where students can book to have one-to-one virtual appointments with us here in the career service, and we are there for each and every individual student, and we are really committed to adhering to all their needs. Really important that students are open-minded and flexible around their plans, because you just never know what life may bring you, and you've got to be really receptive to opportunities. Really important that you kind of really put yourself forward for any workshops or opportunities that will help to enhance your skill set and confidence. As I mentioned earlier, that UCAS is a definite plan B, come what may with the apprenticeship market. It's always important. We always encourage all of our students to apply for that also. Research is key, and to really tailor each and every application that you make. You don't just blanket apply. Try and tailor it to the needs and wants of the company. Really understand the corporate responsibility and their awareness and what sort of brand they have and what their kind of ethos is. So it's really important that you capture that on each and every individual application that you make. Apply is something I always mention. Please don't just apply for one and sit around and make a cup of tea and hope for the best. Really important that you really put yourself out there for as many different opportunities as you possibly can, and seek assistance from us here in the careers team. Really important. As I mentioned previously, so we have our very own brand new careers YouTube channel, and it's packed with all the up-to-date videos and information and top tips, just like this one will be on there very shortly. So please subscribe, and really that way you won't ever miss out on anything. Okay, just to kind of link into Jamil, who we're going to be hearing from in a moment. So literally, I've just discovered JP Morgan's application window has now opened. It opens on the 5th of October. So they're now literally opening the first window, leading you into the second window for October. Does that make sense? So I just wanted to alert you to that they're actually now saying their window is open on the 5th of October, and they're a huge global financial service, and they're offering financial service apprenticeships. Okay, so they're pretty much inviting applicants to apply now, but when you click into the apply now, you're pretty much expressing your interest for when it opens on the 5th of October. Okay, so as I mentioned, Jamil, who has recently successfully secured an apprenticeship, a degree apprenticeship with JP Morgan, as I just mentioned earlier, and we're really fortunate to have Jamil here with us. Hopefully we can get him now. Jamil?
Yep, hello.
Hi, Jamil, how are you today?
I'm good, thank you. I'm good. How are you, Janet?
Oh, I'm good. I'm good. Firstly, thank you so much for taking the time out this evening to share your experience. I put up a really good picture of you. There you are. Would you like to just explain to us, before we go into your apprenticeship, what this photograph is all about?
Yeah, so I had the opportunity to go on stage in front of the top 100 companies in the UK. This was courtesy of the careers team, so they asked me if I wanted to go on stage, and yeah, it was a very good opportunity to kind of broaden my apprenticeship knowledge and then meet some big key people in the industry.
Yeah, I mean, who's the gentleman sitting in the middle there?
Yeah, so the one in the middle, he's the first winner of The Apprentice, Tim Campbell. The girl on the far right, she works for PwC. The one on the far left is for Unilever, and then two City and Islington students. So it's quite a big panel.
Quite big. That is absolutely prestigious, Jamil. How did you feel being up there?
Yeah, I think at first I was a bit overwhelmed because every big company you can think of in the UK was there. But
Yeah.
I think once you just get speaking, it was all right, I think.
Okay, and linking in with JP Morgan, you mentioned earlier to me that there was somebody from JP Morgan there. Is that right?
Yeah, that's correct. So at that event, after the head of recruiting for JP Morgan, he actually came up to me and, we had a brief conversation, and it was a good experience just to get my name and my face out there.
So the head of JP Morgan, one of
the head of recruiting, so the person who basically directs, who's getting employed and what kind of happens. So the head of the emerging talent team, he was there.
That is amazing, isn't it? I mean, how's that for networking?
It was good.
Yeah, and it really just goes to show that when you put yourself up there and out there, it can really make a difference, can't it?
Mm-hmm.
Fabulous. Okay, so if you'd like to just kind of take us, rewind a little bit to your time with us at the sixth form. So what A levels were you studying?
Yep, so I studied maths, economics and psychology A levels.
Mm-hmm. And what was your thought process at that time when you were nearing year 13 in terms of your direction post CANDI?
Yeah, so I kind of thought I'm not sure if uni is for me, especially after finding out about apprenticeships. I found out that people were working, they were earning money, and they were studying towards qualifications as well. I thought that was a lot more suited to me, and after having that knowledge, I just thought, how could I, go to university when there's apprenticeships out there?
Mm-hmm.
So just upon understanding what apprenticeships are all about, when I got into year 13, I just made a really active effort to apply to all the apprenticeships, make a list of what apprenticeships are out there, and I just did a lot of research around it to try get in.
Okay, so you were kind of taking yourself on that journey of researching and applying. Can you remember how many you kind of applied for at the time?
Roughly, I'd say about between 10 to 15.
Wow.
Because I know at the end of the day, it's a numbers game. I might apply to 15 and maybe get one offer. So I can't just have my eggs in one basket and just apply to one firm. So I did make a number of applications.
Yeah, we do remember you very well, Jamil, at sixth form. You were very, very hungry and very determined young man, very determined, and you definitely made use of the service in every step of the way, from your CV, rebranding yourself, changing your narrative, and really making sure that you were making the right noises at all times.
Yeah, and that's what it comes down to, I think, at the end of the day. You're essentially competing against other students around the country, and you just got to want it more than them, and you just got to work harder than them, I think.
Yeah. So tell us what led you to JP Morgan, and why were you attracted to JP Morgan?
Yeah, so one of the first reasons why is the sector it's in. So I'm quite interested in anything finance related, hence why I took economics and maths A level, and then the degree aspect of it as well. So I don't feel like I'm missing out on the whole university experience because I'm still getting a Russell Group degree, which is a very prestigious and respectable degree.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the third thing is that the people you're around, I feel like you're an average of the people you're around. So JP Morgan tend to employ and hire very high level, intelligent, successful people, and that kind of environment I knew would help me to thrive and basically develop myself on a personal and professional level. So that's essentially what attracted me to JP Morgan. But I think once I got to the stages, I met a few managers and I saw the office and I saw what I could potentially be doing. I think that's what truly inspired me, being in that environment.
Wow. So it was definitely something that you were enamored by and really in awe of, weren't you, in terms of raising your game and being around people that would kind of, really encourage you and uplift you in your kind of perspective and your view on life, and really making you raise your standards as well, right?
Yeah, that's exactly it. So everyone that was applying were very intelligent people, very inspiring, and I just thought, wow, this is the kind of environment I want to be in. I want to be around very like determined, driven people, and I know that kind of feeds into my ambition in a way.
Yeah, and it just goes to show again, you being at the Rate My Apprenticeships Awards back in 2018, as much as you may not have felt it at the time inside that I am that person, but it just goes to show how you were presenting to the outside world was that you do deserve a place at JP Morgan. So look what you were doing prior to getting the opportunity. So you were already building that narrative, weren't you?
Yeah, but that's not to say that even if you're not on stage, you can't get in. I think that definitely helped. But I think even if I wasn't on stage, I think I still have a very good chance of getting in. So I wouldn't let that, put anyone down that, I haven't been on stage and I haven't had those opportunities, because it doesn't dictate it all.
Yeah, you're being modest, Jamil. I think you're absolutely right in what you're saying. You don't have to be on stage, lights, camera, action to be accessing these opportunities. But it shows that you put yourself out there, though, and I think that's something we try and impart for all our students to at least try. Yeah, and you definitely did. Can you talk us through the process? What was the actual application process with JP Morgan, and what kinds of assessment methods did they give for you?
Yeah, so what did I know about JP Morgan and why I wanted to apply? The following stage was an assessment centre, and this was where I wouldn't say I was thrown off, but I was like, wow, this is big and this is quite tough.
How many people roughly?
In the whole stage, or just my
in the assessment centre? In the assessment centre, are we talking hundreds? Are we talking 20s, 30s, or
in my room, or at that stage? In my room, about maybe 30, 40 people. So about
just in your room.
Yeah, just in my room. So about 5-6 tables of 6 people. And what they did is they give us a task, and they say, here's a task. You guys amongst yourself work it out. And they kind of just want to see, how do you respond and how do you work in a team? How do you think? Are you a leader? Are you a dictator? And that kind of thing. And I came across, I think on the table, I was the only one from London. So I was there. I was a bit, it was weird, because I was like, wow, these people have all travelled from all over England to come here, and that's what.
And you're here.
Yeah, and I'm just from London, just down the road. So people, they travel 2 hours, and I'm mentioning that because they're very hungry to get it, and it was very cutthroat, because everyone was kind of, it was like dog eat dog. Everyone was kind of
everybody was shining.
Yeah, and after that stage, I was like, okay, I'm not sure if I've got in. Thankfully, managed to pass that stage. And then the next stage was like a networking event. So essentially, we just went around talking to about 10 to 15 managers for about 10. And it was just a brief conversation about, our ambition, what we knew. And it was a chance for us to get to know them and them to get to know us. But the main point of that day was for them to basically score us. They will score us based on, what we said, how we performed. And I found that very interesting, but there was 1 or 2 managers that, it was quite a big shock, some of the conversations. So, for example, one of them, they asked me some big questions. I had no idea, how to respond. And, in that moment I thought, is this my apprenticeship chances? Are they gone?
Wow. And
then the last stage was a video interview, but it's a bit different to how you might imagine. So it was actually a one-way video interview. So instead of actually speaking to someone, they kind of just flash questions up on the screen, and you have literally one take just to get your thoughts and your answers out there. So yeah, that was the process. And then after that, I managed to get the offer.
Wow, that is absolutely amazing. Okay, so now that you're in post, I mean, what's your actual pathway? What's the official title of your qualification?
So in terms of the qualification, like I mentioned, I study at the University of Exeter, and I'm doing a degree in finance, applied finance. So this degree is directly related to my job role. So everything I'm learning at university, I can apply it to work, which I think is very useful, because I feel like some people go to university and do a degree that's completely unrelated to their job. And then the other days where I'm not at university, I'm working for JP Morgan. So currently I sit on the trading floor and I work with traders to kind of process their trades and ensure that they're meeting the correct risk levels and everything's being booked correctly. So yeah,
that is the beauty of it, isn't it? That's the beauty of it, is that one minute you're doing the learning, the theoretical frameworks, and then the next day you're on the trading floor.
Yeah, and I think it's the best way, because I don't think I'd want one or the other. I wouldn't just want to go to university. I wouldn't just want to work. I think having both, I get to experience the best of both worlds.
Definitely. And in terms of the impact of COVID, I mean, how has that impacted you in any way in terms of your apprenticeship? Or?
Yeah, I think it's impacted all of us in some way. So I think for me, working from home was quite big. So one day I was in the office, the next day, everyone's having to work from home. But everyone's having to adapt. Even now today, this event is on Microsoft Teams.
We've found a way, haven't we? There's always a way, isn't it? That's one thing.
There's always a way to get around things, and it's the same with work as well. So
yeah.
I still managed to stay in contact with my team through Skype or Zoom, and things do manage to get done.
Okay, so in terms of when we spoke earlier, Jamil, you were kind of sharing with me about some of the things that you would have done differently. So what sort of advice would you give to the current year 13s based upon what you've learned in your journey?
Yeah, I think the main pieces of advice I wish I knew when I was applying is to just start early and just thoroughly research the company. So the reason why I'm saying start early is because when it came to maybe January, February time, people are trying to apply for apprenticeships, but by then a lot of them have closed or have processed their applications forward. The reason why is because of exams. They want to make sure that people are hired before the exam time comes around, so people can focus on their exams. And then I think researching the companies and the job roles. So I know a lot of people, they don't really know what they're applying for. They don't know what an apprenticeship entails. So with the accounting apprenticeships, for example, like Ernst & Young, you mentioned, KPMG, PwC, they are very good apprenticeships. The job role, you get to travel around London, you get to work with clients, very good perks, benefits. It's a client-facing role, so you're with different teams, different places, but people think in their head that accounting is just numbers, which is why I emphasize quite a lot on research. If you actually understand what these jobs are and what these apprenticeships are about, I think people would be quite surprised, and it would change their perception on certain industries such as accounting.
Wow, really, really good top tips there. Thank you so much, Jamil, for your time, and we did make it work tonight. Thank you so much.
That's all right. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you so much. Okay, so that's it from us. Many thanks for listening this evening. I'll hand you back to Joe.
Thanks, Janet. So we have got time if anyone wants to quickly put some questions in the Q&A, but thank you so much, Janet, and especially to Jamil. Like Janet says, we remember Jamil well, and he's just, he thoroughly deserves that degree apprenticeship, and we'll certainly be using you a lot more, Jamil, to support the next lot of students. So we'll just hang on for a little bit more. Again, if I just kind of highlight in the published comments, the YouTube channel, and there is an application form there for the Future Apprentice Tutor Group. So if it may be possible still to put students in that group, and within that is a specialised tutor group where you'll receive support from Lloyds Banking Group and Pearson. So it's a really, really good focused tutor group. So yes, do fill that out if you feel that would be helpful. I think, Jamil, you were possibly part of a group like that, were you?
Yeah, I was part of the Step Into Work tutorial group. Very, very helpful. I learned quite a lot, and a lot of the things I learned, I applied it into my apprenticeship process. Yeah,
so we rebranded it for some reason to become from Step Into Work to Future Apprentice, but yeah, it was the same idea.
Yeah, no, it was very good. It was very good.
Excellent. Okay, so we've not got any more questions coming through, but you can still put them in there. But I think that's it from us. We do hope that's been useful for you. Do encourage your students to come and seek us out. We're frantically busy at the moment supporting UCAS applications, but as Janet says, we're here to support all of you. So it doesn't matter to us whether you want to go for an apprenticeship, whether you want to go to university. That support is there for you. So yeah, do get in touch. But that's it from us, and hopefully we'll see you at the next live event.